guest this week, and no promises that there's going to be disruptions, but
Almost guaranteed to be disruptions.
there's going to be children disruptions and dog barking. But also, I should have said this before ahead of time. After we end this, you have to stay on for a little bit and don't leave.
Got it.
But we're going to talk this week about the awesome trip we had in D.C. We're going to Arizona next week. The Phillies played a day game today. What a disaster. Jason Kelsey podcast is awesome. The clips, at least, that they share. I've yet to listen to the whole thing. But I just bought my first Halloween candy. We'll talk a little TV. We got a new segment with memes and comments, so we're going to go through those, hopefully, if I can navigate that. And then we'll look at the road ahead. Eagles, Jags, and I think Dak Prescott is going to be back. So
Took some stitch. He took the stitches
2
out of his
weeks.
thumb.
So filthy on Dooms on that. So DC Philly sports trips. I didn't even get to talk to those guys because they went right to the Cubs. God bless them. They went straight to the Cubs series with the Phillies. I think Phillies Nation. Sarge was there, Gary Matthews. But shout out to Philly Sports Trips. There was 1160 at our tailgate. I think the next closest group had 400 or 500. The stadium, which fits 82,000, had to have 40 to 50,000 Eagles fans. It had to be 50-50 or better.
I think it was better. I think it was 60%, 60 to 70%. It was packed.
And Ellie, my sidekick, she's gone. But Jalen Hurts is offensive player of the month, top 3 in passing yards. That was kind of the biggest question mark going in this year. Jalen Hurts. They have all the skill guys in the world, but Eagles and Dolphins who play right now, actually 3-0. Dolphins versus the Super Bowl runner-ups we have in the background. I think Brandon Graham was Defensive Player of the Week. Wentz, 9 sacks is done.
Yeah, Wentz was a sit. I was watching some fantasy shows this morning, and Wentz was a top 3 quarterback or something the first 2 weeks, and everybody's marking him a sit this week. Got to talk fantasy. I have major tight end woes too. We need to talk about.
Tight end is
brutal.
It's a tough position. And no fancy beer this week either. Sticking with the sponsorship Miller Lite and Sam's Italian Market Garlic Hot Wing Rub. So
and it's a school night for me.
Yeah. Last week I was still getting over the home opener. I was dead, and I was getting ready to go down to D.C. But now I'm chilling this weekend. We have some great people sitting in our seats in 115 this week.
So let's do the rundown. So the Philly sports trip. If at first you were like $300, should we do this? And by game time on Ticketmaster, just our seats where we sat were what the entire trip cost. I mean, to talk about value of a trip. We got up at 4 o'clock in the morning. It's so great too. Waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning when you have somewhere fun to go is not like waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning for work. I was
like going to the airport.
Yeah, like my alarm went off and I was already like, my eye was like already open. So
It's like airport beers.
4 a.m. we were the first people in the parking lot. We got a prime seat on the bus, front but not full front, which was hilarious, by the way. Those guys that sat in the front, they were like really feeling good. There was 3 seats, and it was 3 guys in 3 separate seats, and then the bus packs, and then the Philly sports guy that was running our bus rolls in with a big cooler and made the big guy in the first seat move. I don't know if you noticed this, made him move back, and they had to sit next to each other because the beer was sitting in the front seat. And they looked that
Two
big.
giant guys crammed in one seat and a giant cooler crammed in the other. My skinny butt was
I
in
had my own seat too.
own seat.
Bus trip. If I could throw shade, slowest bus driver of all time. I appreciate that
50 miles an
I
hour.
appreciate that he got us there safe. But we were like, "Come on, buddy, we got to get to the tailgate." So we got there maybe 2 hours before kickoff. Could have probably been more, but the traffic and man, what a dump. Let's talk about the stadium too. Their whole setup is just like it's weird. It felt like being on like a college campus and just being like separate, like multiple separate little tiny parking lots. And we had the biggest one, the most people.
I thought it was I liked the area and I liked the walk-in. It was just different because I think a lot of the way trips we went into, London was weird. It was like a spectacle. There was like a Ferris wheel. It was like very Super Bowl-esque and rigged up. Vegas, there's absolutely no tailgate. You're like walking 4 miles to get there in the desert.
Well, Vegas is one constant, never-ending party, so I don't think tailgates are even necessary in Vegas.
They don't even have it. And then Buffalo, we were at like an FDA food-approved site where they scientifically test food for, I don't even know.
Buffalo, yeah, people's backyards. It's the most fun thing about traveling to the different stadiums is like seeing how they do it.
Every time there's nothing like a Philly tailgate.
Every time reinforces how great of a setup we have.
I thought Wentz was playing for his life, and now their backup's Heineke. He's no good, so they're pretty much within the next 2 or 3 weeks they're out, and Sam Howell from UNC is going to be their starting quarterback pretty much.
Wild.
But he's done, and speaking of done, so are the Phillies. We had a Boston fan actually on here. Boston fan said, Boston here, screw you. Can't beat teams that are under 500. Boston got eliminated last night. Maybe it was a coincidence, and that's won the World Series after Harper left. Just saying. Ouch. But, my biggest thing is I really thought, regardless of what happened, that with the magic number being still at 7, if the Brewers win tonight, we're in really bad shape. They'll overtake our wild card spot. We'll actually be out. We have the same record tiebreaker right now. We both have 83 wins. We already played today. The Brewers play tonight. So if the Brewers win, they'll have 84 wins, and they'll take our spot for the day. And then the National Series is all screwed up because of the hurricanes. So we're going to have doubleheaders and not real regular 9-inning baseball games where I would take us at least 2 out of 4 games, maybe 3 out of 4 games. If you're playing 7-inning doubleheaders with bullpen games and wonkiness and people waiting and rain delays and your pitcher coming out and then there's a rain and then he can't pitch anymore because he's warmed up and his timing is off or whatever the heck they do, it's going to be a wonky series this weekend. The bats are trash. All the money you paid, Schwarber, Harper.
Ever since
Castellanos
Harper came back from the
nobody.
thumb, he's been nothing. It's been
it's a bunch of hits today. I think he was got on every time, but the rest.
I was a worst Philly fan ever. I don't even know. Did they lose again today? I didn't even see it.
They lost. So they had Tuesday night, Wednesday night, lost. Today, day game,
Those ones I
Thursday,
watched.
lost. So they're Brewers win away from losing their spot tonight as we talk. And we have a crazy National Series, and then we play the Astros. Hopefully the Astros have their season locked up, and they just lay down. But it's not looking good.
And baseball's not like that. Baseball's not like football where you rest starters. I mean, you maybe change the pitching rotation, but they still play. So you're gonna have to beat their players. It's not like you're gonna get a big squad.
And the Cubs brought up a guy that isn't even a 200 hitter in AAA because they're done. They're rebuilding, and he was better than anybody the Phillies had this whole weekend. So even if the Astros have backups or random guys or the rosters expand and they bring up people, whoever they got that's feisty trying to spoil it for us is better than any of these guys with the pressure of Philly on their back. So this series is going to be messed up because of the rains. So sending my prayers to anybody affected in Hurricane Ian. It's funny, my cousins live in Fort Myers. Alex's cousins are there. Always interested in that area. My two really good friends and family and their parents live there now, relocated in Fort Myers and Marco Island. And then the Guido who posts on our page, he's in Orlando. We have a lot of people in Florida. So it's going to screw it up. We might have weird winds, whipping winds, and we'll talk about it when we get to the Jags game. But the weather with the running game and all that could make it a weird Eagles game. But it's going to screw up baseball this weekend. It's going to screw up the Phillies' chances, I think, at least to get in the playoffs. But I don't want to be so negative because I think the funnest thing the Eagles have done so far is the Batman thing. So they got Swole Batman, which is A.J. Brown. They got Fast Batman, which is Quez Watkins, and Skinny Batman, which is Devonta Smith, who had an awesome game.
Fat Batman.
Jason Kelsey's Fat Batman. So everybody in the stadium, I think, maybe not this week, but when it catches on, I remember they had the dog masks and they had the Robin.
I was just thinking that this is ski masks and the dog as ski mask season and the dog masks reincarnated. If this is our rallying cry, $9.99 Batman capes from Amazon, I'm in. That's a buy.
So that's going to be sick, and it's just in time for Halloween. So if you're watching this after the show after the show later on, let me know what your favorite Halloween candy is. I just got in a new neighborhood. Our neighborhood is prime trick-or-treating. We got at least 130, 150 kids. So I need to know what candy to get. So let me know what candy to get. Run to the Halloween Superstore for sure. Yeah, I saw E-Rock got a Batman mask today, I think.
He always sits in our
Top
section.
5.
I've seen him in our section a few times.
Yeah. Shout out to them. They were there in DC. Three Musketeers. Ew, nougat.
Ooh,
just
Three Musketeers
straight
trash.
nougat. So if the Phils don't make it, top 5 collapses. It's a top 5 collapse, not just because of this year, just because of September's with Kapler and Girardi, and now this guy. It's really not the manager now. So you keep changing managers, and this team, when the pressure comes on, where the Eagles have totally embraced it, Jalen Hurts have embraced it, everybody embraced it. The team totally freaking collapses.
By the way, if you need somebody to blame for the Phillies, you could just 100% blame me because they immediately started losing as soon as I bought our own. I bought a Philly Rob T-shirt off of our merch page, and it literally it arrived at the house. I opened it up. It's actually a great shirt, but.
And the sad part is, even if they lose out, he's going to still be probably 20-something games over 500. So it really was those that going like 20 games under 500 at the beginning of the year, and they can't beat these bad teams.
I disagree with that. They're not taking care of business now. They stopped the bleeding when they brought Philly Robin, and everything was the memes were flying, and it was in the summer and all that. Bryce Harper thumb. Just changed feel like it just changed the flow of the team. But they got to handle business now. They're not playing good teams right now. And they play the Braves, but they play good against the Braves. They split with them, right? Or was 3-2? They play five
Once
games.
Again, if we don't get in, it's going to come down to anywhere from 2 to 3 games. So when they lost a bajillion in the beginning of the year, if they have to get 2 or 3 wins now, they can't do either.
They can't do either. Right, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, I think we're giving the Phillies already too much in this podcast, if I don't say so myself. I am a seller of the Phillies right now. I am not watching that. I keep my eye on them. I watch the highlights in the morning, but miss me with 3 hours of Phillies baseball right now. The NFL is too exciting. I'm watching like replays.
Eagles are so good. I have nothing to complain about. I mean, they're the only thing I can complain about the Eagles with, and I won't be a complainer podcast, but the Eagles. They played the 3 teams they played top 5 yards allowed, all their defenses. The Vikings, the Commanders, and the Lions right now are in the top 5 of yards allowed. The Jags defense is really freaking good. But the Eagles brought back the Frosty freeze out. If you know the Sixers, they have where if you miss 2 free throws, you get a free Frosty at Wendy's. The Eagles are partnered with Wendy's now, and they're doing if the Eagles don't give up 7 or touchdown in the first quarter, everyone gets a free Frosty at Wendy's.
You were about to complain about the second half scoring. I know you were, and I'm fine with saying it. The Eagles last season were the complete opposite. They were the slow start, and then even at the tail end of Doug Peterson, the slow start, and then they were scrappy, and then they would always be in games at the end. Where now they're coming out flying. Actually, they didn't come out Washington flying. The first couple possessions, I turned to you at the stadium. I'm like, ooh, this is going to kind of be like an NFC Easty kind of game. And then they got the 3, and then they got the strip sack, and then they roll. But then they go to sleep in the second half, and it doesn't concern me though. But it is the main
play
complaint.
Calling. I think they'll have different calling. They just call the game as the flow in that 4-minute offense where they chew clock. But in a tight game, they got to play 4 quarters. They haven't had to do it yet.
Yeah.
It's not that they don't do it yet.
It's a critique with me more than a complaint. You'd be not watching the games critically if you didn't say they need to score a point in the second half. You're scoring 0 points like multiple games in a row. So yeah, they'll figure it out.
Fatten up.
They'll figure it out.
They need to fatten up on these bad teams, and they need to drop 40. Not if they're on 24 in the first half, I'm expecting them to score 48.
I have an overall NFL observation too, if I may. Have you looked at the injury report of the Detroit Lions? Like, their whole team is hurt. And I heard all summer long everybody complaining about how the Eagles were having weak practices and this and that and the other. The Eagles are all generally healthy. I mean, no, knock on wood and all that. And DeAndre Swift is not playing. Hakkasan is hurt. All those guys are banged up. They were killing each other in hard knocks.
They're good, and they're good. They're still top 5 in explosive plays.
Yeah, but they're banged up. Their injury report this weekend now, and they've lost some tough games. They've scored a lot of points and lost. But again, this is something I've been saying all year. Everybody jumps all over me when I say it, but this is not your mama's NFL. Teams this year are good that normally weren't. Miami's good. But the Jags I think are good. I think they're a good team. I think we have probably our toughest task this weekend.
It's going to be nothing but Eagles from here on out because I really think Phillies are done. Nobody's going to talk Flyers this year. James Harden looks like he's in the best shape of his life. Nobody bets on the Sixers because they just never do it. They can never get out of the second round or never get out of the first round or whatever. James Harden looks good. He looks like he's in the best shape of his life. So it's going to pretty much just be Eagles, maybe some Sixers. But early season Sixers is even talk aboutable. So every podcast from here on out is going to be straight Eagles all the time. James Harden looking good. Unless he starts eating them Frosties when the Eagles are shutting teams out.
I love seeing him at the game. That was really sweet, by the way, on Monday night. I'll be honest, that was the most star-studded Eagles game I think I've been to. Every stoppage of play, they panned to, like, Questlove was there, Bradley Cooper was there, Mike Trout was there. They didn't even pan to him. Harper was there with his wife. Harden. That was dope. I like that. I love when all the celebs come out and support the team. Oh yeah, boy,
this was that Monday game.
Here we go.
There we go. We didn't get to do it last week. I forgot about this meme. This is by far one of our hugest posts of the year. 159,000 post impressions, post reach, whatever the hell that means. And I need to put it to most relevant comments. Because we don't get to. Oh yeah, the plastic bag.
If ever I'm having a rough day, I go to some of our most popular memes, and I just rip through the comments, and the people kill me. I love our fans. They're the best.
This is gonna be a new segment, and it's good we do because it really was just me talking. But meme of the week, man, that whatever. I don't even think you could put a price on meme of the week because. For meme of the week, not only will it be brought to you by you, we'll put you somewhere up here above the folder in the comments. Huge exposure for you. So if you want to sponsor meme of the week, and just look at these comments. We had Aunt Mary Pat.
Aunt Mary Pat.
It freaking looks like
came into the comments. That was the best. And that was my comment. I brought her in. I added her because it really does look like whatever character that plays her daughter or whatever. I was like, is that your a-hole daughter? And the actual Aunt Mary Pat respond. How many likes did the Aunt Mary Pat comment get?
Uh, if you haven't seen it yet, so it's a picture of somebody with a big behind, and it went super viral because a Vikings fan was staring at her butt, and they basically don't make women like that out in Minnesota's. And then we said, hey, if you're just listening to the podcast, hey, this looks like Aunt Mary Pat's daughter, spelled like kind of Delco accent. And she came back, and Aunt Mary Pat herself said, looks like her, but you know Kelly's in jail, hun. And it got 730 likes.
That's a lot for us. One comment underneath. How many likes did the post end up getting? It was like 1,500 last time I saw. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's insane. This is the reach. The people it reaches, because once you share it, like people that just don't even engage with it at all, but they still see it, it just amazes me that like 159,000 people saw it. But there's some other notables too. We have Jeffrey Dahmer, which I'll get to because we're going to do a little TV talk. But really, the meme of
I just
this
finished
week
episode 2. Oh my gosh, that show is like that show is unbinge watchable. I won't start talking about it. Go ahead. Oh, the Rihanna one crushed too. That one.
No, you can talk about it. You can talk about all you want. TV talk.
I can only watch one Jeffrey Dahmer, and then I need to like take a break. I can't. If you're sitting there binge watching Jeffrey Dahmer, you're more of a man than
sick because it's been out for.
It took me like 4 days to watch it.
It's been out for a week, and there's 10 episodes, so that means that one day you at least watch more than one. You're sick. You're sick.
Yeah, it is so good. It is so well acted, and I can't stand how people are complaining about it. People are just, oh, it's senseless to the victims and this, that, and the other. It's like the show's made for entertainment. People love serial killer stuff. They love gory stuff. I don't get the backlash. It's like, I guess it could be fake. I don't know anybody that's actually
too crazy. It's too crazy. That's what someone just said in the comments. But it is crazy.
This isn't a spoiler. So in the end of the second episode, they use actual dialogue from an actual police call in the episode. So it's not like Hollywood crazy. It's Jeffrey Dahmer was nuts.
Definitely all
it's legit. All that stuff is from the files of the stuff that happened.
So let us know what you're watching. We're obviously watching Dahmer. So Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings definitely took a back seat. They stink.
They're horrible.
And I've only watched like 3, I think, but it's all real. The thing I didn't know about it, and I'll get off of it, and we'll go ahead to the Eagles and our meme of this week. We caught up on Aunt Mary Pat's daughter, but the thing I didn't realize about it is I didn't know how he lured people back. I didn't know that it was just men, and I knew he ate people.
Oh, I didn't know anything about any of this stuff. I didn't know it was all the weird stuff.
He was a serial killer. I knew he ate people and did weird stuff with their body, but I didn't know it was in the nature that it's in. Not that I'm discriminating, but I didn't know that it was he lured them back and how he did it. And the fact that it went on and on and on and on and on. But watch it. Let us know what you're watching because I'm getting dry on shows here.
Yeah. Oh, the other controversy too was that Netflix had it tagged as an LGBTQ show, which is strange. And then they got backlash, and then they removed the tag. I mean, Jeffrey Dahmer was, but that whole thing, why does it have to be so controversial like that? Like with all that stuff, I don't know. People just take it too far. I feel like. The show's great though. He's so creepy.
Yeah, I want to see that movie Bros. It looks funny. I'm not going to discriminate. I think the movie Bros looks funny. I think if you are, whether you're straight or in the LGBT community, especially in the gay community, knowing that like going out to a club and like these dangerous people out there, I think it's so interesting. So them tagging it as it or not, it could go either way for me, to be honest. That shouldn't be a controversy. I think if you're straight or gay, that you would love to watch it because it's just crazy. Everybody can relate to it. Like, you really would meet people out, like going out and lure them back kind of sexually. And what a wild
show.
what a wild guy.
Yeah. And the kid that's acting it is he's got to win some stuff. He's so creepy.
He's going to win stuff. They're going to give him an easy role next time, comedy, something.
He's Dahmer forever.
So people are canceling that, and people are canceling Rihanna, who's tapped in for the Super Bowl.
I am so tired of this yearly complaining about the Super Bowl halftime show. Like, music is the most polarizing thing ever. It doesn't matter who they pick. Nobody's going to be 100% happy. I'm so sick of massaging and digesting every year. Oh, Eminem, Snoop Dogg, blah, 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 it's lame. Oh, Bruno Mars, it's lame. Oh, then they pick, like, some classic rock band, and that's lame. Like, just enjoy it. I'm a serial enjoyer of the halftime show. I've never once watched a halftime show and complained about it, ever.
Have these men not seen her behind? Everyone will be watching this halftime show. Well played, NFL. Well played. Some people said it's just to appease. If the guys want to watch the game, they could go to their spouses and say, I don't mind Rihanna. I guess it just doesn't fit with football. They choose pop stars. Come on, hon, let's watch the game. Rihanna will be performing. So their spouses are cool with it. You get a well-rounded crowd there.
How about the people that the memes making fun of outing themselves in the comments? Like the top liked one, I think. I can't really see the scroll, but the top like one is a guy saying exactly what the meme's making fun of, which is like the classic like old guy with white sunglasses complaining.
Bill Blake.
Bill Blake.
Bill Blake said, get some real talent. This is why I don't watch.
Yeah, and then everybody just piles on him. Love it.
Oh, my God. So memes, we'll keep doing it. So honorable mention to Dahmer meme. You'd only get it. Check that out. I'm not even going to show it because you'd only get it if you watch the show. And honorable mention to, although we're a church-going bunch, the Eagles went from Carson Wentz dork to
Swagatron 5000.
Swagatron 9000.
That was a good one. That was a good one too.
Jalen Hurts has swag, man.
What was that hat though? That hat was too cool for me. I didn't even know what that was. Obviously the throwback shirt. What is that hat? Some brand you've never heard of.
I don't know. This is why you have to watch, whether it's YouTube or come back on Facebook and watch. If you're listening, just go and check out these memes we're talking about, or just skip to where we talk sports. I don't know. But these
here's a hat for you. Boom. I keep this proud in my office. This is my Brian Westbrook signed. That was a great day, by the way, in the summer when we saw B West at the casino.
B West was supposedly there this week, or he's going to the tailgate this week, or I don't know, he's going to be in Arizona. B West still around.
Where's he?
Chilling.
I don't hear him anymore. He used to come on Missinelli. Where is he hidden now? Jacob Media, one of them.
He's what sports book was that? It wasn't DraftKings, was it? It was a FanDuel?
It was. I'll check my Brian Westbrook autograph football. It was DraftKings.
So he's DraftKings now. He's exclusively DraftKings. And DraftKings buys every station, so I don't know if they can have an affinity. And he does mad appearances. He is doing Fan Fest, though, which had to get postponed. It was supposed to be this Saturday, 97.5 The Fanatic at Xfinity Live on this Saturday. They have like a bunch of players coming and a bunch of on-air hosts coming. But they had to postpone it to the end of October. But he still does that stuff with them. So he's going to make an appearance at FanFest because of the hurricane got moved to October 29th. It's going to be in a month. So maybe it's another Saturday. I don't know. Yeah, it's usually a Saturday before a home Eagles game. So it gives you a reason to go out there and drink 2 days in a row, which I'm in.
I'll drive.
TV. And I finished Succession. So you got to give me another show.
The boat.
Dahmer's too heavy for me, and I finished Succession.
Did you finish Cobra Kai?
No, I started that.
Whoa, you gotta fit it. This was by far the best season of Cobra Kai. I know with old news, you guys probably been finished watching that, but I was born in 1985, the year or two after that movie came out, the first one, and I grew up with Karate Kid, so I'm all in on Cobra Kai, and this to me was the most enjoyable season. It tied all three movies together, and they announced that they're
I like
making the new one.
everybody. They bring
It's
even like
amazing.
minor characters back from the
It's
movies. They
amazing.
bring everybody back.
They brought in like one of the characters, it's not a spoiler, one of the characters like references another thing in the movie and they clipped that part. I don't even remember that line. And they built like a whole storyline off of that, which was just super creative.
I saw that because I'm like 2 in. I saw that. He's like in the
My
backyard.
one Cobra Kai concern for the Cobra Kai people though is that so now they're gonna make a Karate Kid 4. And the Karate Kid movies have a completely different vibe than Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai is almost like satiric, like it almost like makes fun of itself. So like, what is the vibe of a actual now Karate Kid movie going to be? Because the Karate Kid movies were relatively serious, and Cobra Kai is kind of almost silly in a way. So I'm interested to see what that'll be like.
That'll be good. So that was fast. I drafted Dak in a fantasy league, and he's going to be back next week. I think not this game, but the week after.
Oh, I hope they lose and all the Cowboys fans implode for wanting Cooper Rush. Oh baby, who do they play?
Dallas
As I
plays.
was gonna say, who do they play? I don't have. I'm using my phone
Dallas.
for video.
I should know this if I'm going live on here.
You should. No, it's not. It's not us,
But
is it?
I wasn't one.
Don't we play them in October?
We play the Rams this week, and then us.
I know. They're trying to. They're gonna bring him out on Sunday Night Football at our place. That would be incredible.
No, okay. I was misinformed. They played the Commanders, then they're going to bring him back as a tune-up for the Rams, which is not a tune-up at all.
No.
They won the Super Bowl.
And then us.
They're not going to bring him back against Eagles. They'll give him a game before that. So he's eyeing up the Rams game, but even if he doesn't make it back, then it will be Eagles will be his first game back. So Commanders, Rams, Eagles.
That would be amazing. Oh.
So people wanted the Cowboys to win because the Giants were 2-0 and they wanted sole position. And then you had the people that were like, you could never root for the Cowboys. And people like that bother me.
That's me.
People like that bother me too, because if it's like week 17 and the Cowboys
different.
play like a rando team, like say the Cowboys are playing like the Arizona Cardinals and we need them to beat the Cardinals to get a wild card spot. Like you can't say I'm never gonna like you literally you might need them.
Okay, here's my counter.
win
Here's my
your game.
counter to that. You never have to root for them. Rooting for them and keeping your eye on it and preferring them to lose are two different things. You'll never hear me go, "Yeah, come on, Dak. Oh, get that first down. Come on, baby." Like never. I'll just watch it and have a sick taste in my mouth the whole time that I need them to win.
Well, it's too early in the season, so I was definitely rooting against Dallas because they just have a way better team. The Giants are going to be the Giants. They're going to fall right back in their place. I was not rooting for the Eagles to get at top of the division. I didn't care if the Giants were 3-0 and we were 3-0. Eventually, they're going to implode. There's a lot of teams that – there's a year I think the Panthers were like 3-0, and then they ended up going 4-12 on the whole year. So I was definitely not rooting for the Cowboys to beat the undefeated Giants. I was going Giants all the way. Cowboys got to lose. Cowboys are dangerous. They're going to get Dak back, but the Eagles have way more skill players. Eagles have 2 number 1 wide receivers. The Cowboys gave one away for nothing. And now in a league that's just pass, and everyone was complaining about the Eagles because, you know, end of last year, all they did was run the ball. Hurts can't throw. All they did was went out and get wide receivers and surrounded him with people to say, hey, bud, this is the shot.
Here's what's most impressive to me about the Eagles this year. You went from having three position groups that you hated watching last year. I mean, the receiving core, the linebackers, and the corners. You had they were successful in a way. They made the playoffs. They got whooped. You went from that to maybe the best receiving core the team overall has ever had. I mean, possibly. AJ Brown, Devontae Smith together are, I can't name a 1-2 punch like that. Definitely not in the league. Eagles history, I don't know. Maybe you have to go back in time. Corners are shut down. Darius Slay is amazing. And the interior defensive line, the linebackers, just vast improvement to do that in 1 year. It takes teams years to build that. Howie figured it out in 1 year. So this is a Howie appreciation point.
Yeah, well, it's pretty easy when you either have the quarterback or sometimes when you have the quarterback and you're paying them a gajillion dollars, you just legitimately have no money. So the Eagles had a rookie quarterback. They ate all the Wentz money last year. They could use all their stuff. And now if they don't have to get a quarterback this year, they have another 2 firsts again.
Which the Saints are trash. They are so bad. Right now, I think it's the 7th pick. I saw one of the pages posted.
Just get more linemen. Just build it in the trenches. So this game is Bengals about to score. But so Dak will be back, and the Giants are going to be back to the Giants, and the Redskins are done. So right where we thought Eagles, Dallas, we play them in 3 weeks. So we have Jags, Cardinals, Dallas. Ooh. The Jaguars are so good. They're really good. James Robinson worries me a ton.
Christian Kirk is good too. He's been lighting it up.
They paid him a ton of money. Everybody laughed at him.
I drafted him in fantasy, benched him first week. He was amazing. Started him ever since, and he's been outscoring DK Metcalf, who is my other flex option.
If there's bad weather, and they have James Robinson and Travis Etienne, who is on national championship Clemson team with Trevor Lawrence, I think they have the edge at running back, and I think their D-line is ferocious. And they have the 2017 Eagles sophomore quarterback version, Trevor Lawrence. They have Doug and Press Taylor. Mike Caldwell, who is the Bucs defensive linebackers coach, I think. The Bucs defense has been amazing for the past several years. They have good defensive coach, good defense, good D-line, good running backs. Wide receivers, But they have Marvin Jones, who is also on the Lions. And if you had Marvin Jones and Kenny Golladay, that guy that's on the Giants, who's just absolutely freaking dreadful. They paid Kirk a ton of money. People laugh. They have weapons. It's a tough spot for the Eagles. We have to lose the game eventually. We're going to Arizona in a week, and that's going to be another tough one. Like one of these two, as much as it pains me, man, if they run the table on those two, I'm going to get giddy.
Really. That's facts, especially if they can survive a funky weather Sunday, because funky weather does not favor the Eagles in the matchup with Jacksonville at all.
I don't
beautiful,
think it does.
crisp, perfect day, I'm all in on the Birds slaying. If it's sloppy, nasty, that always means anybody can win. And Miles Sanders, I don't know if he's that sloppy day running back. Hopefully he can be. But when's the last time he carried the ball 20, 25 times?
But I just think like Slay, if he keeps shadowing guys every week, he just shuts Kirk down. They have a good tight end. They have Ingram. You put that Kaiser White guy on him. You have pass rushers. I think we have so many guys that can just man for man beat them on defense. It's going to come down to, can our offense score for 4 quarters? They haven't had to do it yet. I'm not going to say that they haven't done it yet, but they haven't had to do it yet. So it's going to come down to them literally putting up points every quarter, because I don't think it's going to be that high scoring of a game. So if you score 7, 7, 7, 7, you're talking like 28 points, 27 points, 20 points, under 30.
What is the over-under? I haven't checked it since the forecast. The forecast has gotten better, not worse.
Yeah. Yeah, the Eagles, Jags, over, under. It was like 46. Let me see if it changed.
Dang.
Some had 48.5. It's really close. It was 48.5. I think it opened at. Now it's down to 46. So it's starting to drop. People think it's going to be low now because of the weather. So 46, and people want the under, I guess.
23-20.
I'll take over. I'll take over all day. Watch it be beautiful. I'll take 30-20 over.
30-20. 23-20.
Yeah.
Feels like 23-20 is 24-17, something like that.
24-17.
That 24-17 is always my score prediction. I feel like whenever it's the tiebreaker score on any like pick 'em I'm doing, 24-17.
Well, that's good. Well, we'll jump off here. You heard it here first. 2 double Eagles wins. If you want to join the show and any other weeks, or you want to listen later, YouTube, Google Play, Amazon, Apple, and Spotify, and anywhere that you listen, as well as watch on Facebook and YouTube. We'll get this live stream on Twitch as well. Maybe I'll get a new program because this is not integrated with TikTok, but maybe we'll put some clips on TikTok as well. I say 30-20 Eagles. Doom says 24-17. We out. Doom's got to stay on because I'm going to stop this recording. I'm going to upload it later. So follow us, subscribe, and leave us a review.
Last plug is bonfire.com/Philthy and Philly. Check out all of our merch. We have awesome merch. Holidays are coming quicker than you know it. And you can get yourself some awesome swag.
That was another meme.
Support the
Philly
boys.
fans are obnoxious. So there's a ton of memes that you got to check out. So
big meme week.
Memes become tees, and tees become memes. And Jalen Hurts is better than Tua. Hope the Dolphins lose, get their first loss. Eagles win, be the remain lone undefeated team of the NFL, going down to Zona against the toddler. All right, we out. Let's stop it.
Later, everybody.